You guys shouldn't be surprised if I get a Steph Curry jersey in the near future and I start wearing it on the show. I'm just gonna be honest.
You are sad.
Curry, he's the babyface assassin.
The furthest I went was saying the beef's dead. That's it. I can move on, but I can't go this far.
Yeah. And the question of this topic is that if what stood out most in the Warriors win. Well, of course, Steph stood out. They're 2-0 right now. He had 45 against the Clippers, but I think their offense got slept on. And just being on Twitter over the offseason, a lot of Warriors fans hated the moves the Warriors made. They hated the picks of Kuminga and Moody. They wanted to trade the picks to get an established player. I understand that. They didn't think too highly of Otto Porter and Bielitsa, but I think the players they brought in really fit this system. Jordan Poole has been in it for a while, so he fits. Wiggins understands it. Last year, their problem was that they had a bunch of knuckleheads when it came to the system. Oubre didn't know how to play in it. Poole was still figuring it out. And Bazemore was okay, but he didn't offer the spacing they needed. It was a bunch of players that didn't know how to play in the system. But now with Bielitsa, who had a double-double in Game 1, he's a smart player. People don't know this, but he was the EuroLeague MVP when he played in the EuroLeague. And He's been a solid player in the NBA so far. He hasn't been a star, but he's been great in his role. And in Golden State, he's such a smart guy. Kayvon Looney he's the center they need. When I look at Golden State, I love what they made. The additions of Iggy, smart passer, Otto Porter, floor spacer, he plays within the system. If it's one thing that's going to hurt Golden State, it's their lack of size. You saw it in the first game. They had Toscano Anderson on Anthony Davis. I think Kayvon Looney is a good defensive center, but he's 6'9". There's only so much he can do. James Wiseman, he can be that Bogut for them. He can be that Azili for them. And I know people aren't expecting too much out of Wiseman. It's either or. People are expecting either too much or they're not expecting enough. I just want Wiseman to be solid. I'm not sure if he's going to be, because when he was on the court with Golden State last season, they were way worse, and they were on a 60-win pace when he got injured. I love Golden State this year. They're my pick to make it out the West. I love the moves. I'm surprised Damian Lee's playing this much, but it's because he knows the system and he understands it. This team, they're a force to be reckoned with, and they're going to be very great this year.
Well, I'm not too high. I'm not too low on Wiseman. I think what messed him up was that missing a year, and for a big man, that's very important. Not playing ball for a year, and then he didn't have a training camp. He didn't have an off season. He just came in and played. I think he's going to be fine. Just need some time to figure it out.
Mitchell Robinson did that, though.
That's true, but I feel like the Knicks system isn't as complicated as the Warriors system.
Yeah, no doubt.
So, and I think same with Poole. It's just Poole can shoot. So he had stretches where he kind of diffused all that, but Poole didn't know the system like that last year either. He was still trying to figure it out. Same with Toscano Anderson. He's become a very, very smart player. This team, the goal this offseason for Bob Myers and Steve Kerr was to get Warriors guys. Get guys who are smart basketball players. They're not the best. They're not the most athletic, just smart, high-level IQ players. And everybody they got fits that description. Even the young guys, Kuminga may not be that, but Moses Moody is that, a smart, high-level IQ guy. And that's why he plays the little bit minutes that he gets. And when he does play, he's very effective in those minutes that he does play. Kuminga, I think this is perfect for him. He doesn't have to play this year.
Like a redshirt year, right?
Yeah, he doesn't have to play this year. He's young. His potential is high. He can wait, With this team, though, Bielitsa, Otto Porter Jr. guys who can shoot, space the floor, who has a little bit of the playmaking in them and can defend. You need that. Draymond Green, Iggy can still do things on the end, and you've seen it against the Clippers and against the Lakers. This team shoots a lot of threes. This team spaces the floor. They're unselfish, and that's Warriors basketball. Unselfish, pass the ball, shoot the three, and I think that's what's been key for them. The size is going to hurt them. Like when a team like Philly or a team like Miami or a team with like a dominant big, Denver. But I think the defense they play and the fact that they're so high-powered and they play a running gun offense, I think that's going to forever keep them in the game as long as they're hitting shots. And this is a team that I also picked to come out the West because I feel like they're shooting, and the fact that they didn't even get Clay back yet, who's just going to add on more shooting. If he doesn't give you the defense, he's going to bring in more shooting, which brings in more offense, which is going to even be great for this team. I think this is why I picked this team, because I think this team is built perfectly around Steph Curry's strengths and Steph Curry's weaknesses. You see the whole team is buying in on the defensive end, getting deflections, getting steals, getting blocks, playing a zone. You saw when they played the Clippers, they zoned in on Paul George, and that led to a lot of steals, a lot of deflections. And this team is really good, man. And I keep trying to tell you, man, this is a dangerous team. You don't be listening.
Oh, my
But
God. I've never disrespected them.
keep trying to tell you, bro. That
We told everybody on the show in the offseason.
Yeah,
that was going to be good.
You definitely did.
This
And
is a
you know-
dangerous team.
To add on to your point about the big man point and how the Warriors lack size, the good thing is that in the West, there's not a lot of dominant big men. I mean, you're not
Just Joker and AD.
personally me. I'm not worried about Aiden.
Cat.
I'm not Cat. Yeah.
Oh, but
We'll
we
see
gotta
when
wait
it's-
till they
Are
gotta
you
get
saying
in.
offensively?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm saying the guys we've seen.
You're
do it.
not worried about Gobert. You're not worried about Aiden.
Debatably. I'm not ready to say we're not worried.
Because
too worried about
because
him.
they have Draymond, you're not worried about AD personally. For me, I just think AD.
He was only cooking
I think
Looney and
Draymond
JTA, bro.
He gave AD. He gave
13
AD some
on y'all.
buckets. He gave Draymond
No,
some
but that's
buckets.
when he really started to get going. He saw JTA come in the game.
Come
And what
on,
other teams
man.
are in the West that have
Stop it.
a great big? You know, that's really
Limited.
it. The contenders
Some
at
of those
least.
guys.
That's only them.
Porzingis?
You could put JTA on him.
You say Jokic?
Jokic
Yeah, of
is
course.
the only one, but I think without Jamal Murray, they're not going to go anywhere personally. And even Jamal Murray recovering from an ACL, I don't know if he's going to be himself by the playoffs. That's asking a lot of the guy. I don't think I'm going to ask him to do that.
I mean, Jokic is gonna have problems when they put him in a pick and roll.
But I tweeted this out. Like, if you were in tune with this podcast the entire offseason, you probably know a lot about the NBA and a lot of things that are happening now, you're not surprised by. Because the national media is just talking about the Warriors like, yeah, they could be threats. Like, we've been saying they're going to be threats for the entire offseason.
Yeah, we
like,
have been.
they're going to be great. And with Steph last year, they were literally the 5th seed.
45-point explosion.
He was crazy in the first quarter.
It's time for me to appreciate greatness, and that's why Steph Curry's my guy.
All right.
I have two. It's just in my life. It's just too many losing right now. The Jets are losing. I've been waiting on Harden to get a ring for 5 years, and it hasn't happened. And then Kyrie calls off the season.
JC, how long have I been telling you that Westbrook and Harden were not gonna win a ring,
And
bro?
Harden's gonna win it.
For a minute, bro. I've been telling you that for like a
I think
decade.
out of both of them, Harden actually does.
Yeah, Harden's
gonna-
probably gonna, but I've
Harden's
been
gonna
saying
win.
Westbrook wasn't gonna win a ring for like a decade, bro. I've been saying like he's never gonna.
You want to know why
You know
though?
who else said that?
Who?
No. Rondo said that about Chris Paul.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, he said that years ago that Chris Paul was never gonna win.
I think Westbrook is not going to win it. I think Harden is, and I'll tell you why. Because if Harden doesn't win it as one of the main men on a team,
first or second option.
yeah. Then his game is going to translate as he's older. He'll be like a good 6-man off the bench guy, kind of like a Jason Kidd, or he's going to win a ring eventually. Russell Westbrook,
Time's ticking.
if he doesn't have that athleticism, if he's not a good defender, he can't shoot.
We're gonna be like Devin
What
Harris.
what team is realistically going to sign Westbrook? I think Westbrook's career might end similarly to Allen Iverson's, to where they just fizzle out and they're not on the
Yeah.
team later on in their career.
I feel like if he was with Chicago, he'd be all right. You know what I'm saying? Running
Westbrook?
gun. Nah, for real. Running gun. Just
You'll take him.
Like, for example, a 36-year-old Harden versus a 36-year-old Westbrook. I think
Harden's
Westbrook's
more skilled.
Westbrook's
Better
probably out
shooter.
the league at that
because
point.
Harden can shoot.
But hopefully he proves me wrong, but we'll see.
Are we still talking about the Warriors here?
Yes.
Okay.
I know it's
All
gonna
right.
hurt you, but
No, not really at all. It doesn't hurt me at all to see the Warriors having success. It hurt watching them have success against my Lakers night one for sure, but we just went cold. They were hot. That's all it was.
Who was hot?
The
Steph was
Warriors.
cold.
Steph was real cold.
The Warriors. Jordan Poole had a very good game.
Yeah, he did.
Eventually,
MIP.
Bielitsa, for some reason, was cooking us too, but regardless.
Remember when he said he wouldn't play?
I did say that.
you was like he wouldn't play. I was like, nah, he's
I
gonna
did
play,
say
bro.
that. I can't lie.
Bielitsa.
He did his thing.
He was cooking your
He
boy.
had a double.
But what has been the most standout thing for me watching the Warriors play is their movement without the basketball. Now, obviously, we know Steph Curry is probably the greatest off-ball offensive player,
Probably.
maybe ever.
He is.
He is.
That's
Him and
easy.
Clay
That's
one and
pretty
two.
easy to say.
He's probably the best offensive player in general.
I wasn't expecting Jordan Poole to be this good off ball as well. I wasn't expecting just the slight movement of Andrew Wiggins as well off ball. It just seems as if they have just mastered the ability to just sneak through, fit passes in tight windows. There was this one pass specifically where Draymond's in the post. I think it was like they set a screen for Curry up top. Curry came down low to the paint. Draymond with a quick bounce pass between 3 guys. Somehow Curry was able to get them.
That's their favorite play.
That's regular.
But they're just so meticulous in the way that they have approached the season so far. But that's what has stood out to me the most. Their ability to pass the ball, their ball movement has been spectacular, and what's been allowing them to get so many open looks. Against the Lakers, again, I've said it earlier on, our issue has been switching. But when you're playing the Warriors, you know people are going to be spread out in the corners. When they're driving and obviously we're crashing, all they're doing is a simple kick out. But they have that capacity to know, all right, we're going to have this guy over here. Something's been going on where they just have this idea of already a preconceived notion of where these guys are going to be. Yep. And they've been solid. They've been executing perfectly up until this point. I got to give them their credit where credit is due. They look pretty scary. I'm not going to lie. When Clay comes back, this is going to be an interesting team. But I'm not still ready to say that they're coming out of the West. Not yet. They could. I'm not ready to say that they will. Coming out the West? My Lake show is probably still my favorite to come out. That being said, the Suns do look solid still too.
Oh my gosh,
it's a three-header.
They just got smoked out.
The Suns?
Denver killed them.
They did kill them. They did,
like,
but then they bounced. Game. But then they bounced back very nicely against the Lakers.
Shows.
Not all game. First half.
That's true. It was a good game, and then the Nuggets.
The game didn't feel good to me. I didn't like the game.
That's fair enough.
I thought Denver was going to win the whole time.
That's fair enough.
I was watching.
But all right,
Denver had it.
To stay solid on the Warriors.
Wait, so you think Phoenix has been looking good?
No, they look solid.
So why don't you think your team? Why do you keep saying your team's going to go far, but they haven't been looking good?
Because I'm not ready to say that the Lakers are down now because they lost 2 games.
Biased.
How?
Because you haven't given too much. You keep dodging away from the fact that your team looks garbage.
You could go back to look at the footage. I said, don't like our shooting. Our chemistry looks like trash right now.
He definitely said all that stuff.
Pardon me.
This is what it is. Guy just wants me to know that the Lakers are booty right now.
Sorry.
We may have looked booty these last 2 games, but we have had some solid moments of looking really, really good. That fourth quarter against the Suns, we looked very firm. We're not talking about the Lakers. We're talking about the Warriors. We got to stay on track.
Okay.
Steph Curry dropping 45 is something. It's regular because obviously he's Steph Curry, but it's just the way that they're facilitating the offense is what has been so impressive to me. It's not as if, so obviously Steph can ISO, but that's just not necessarily the game plan to win, truthfully. And that's why I feel like they've had this success because everyone's playing so unselfishly.
Is Steph Curry winning MVP?
I had him as my MVP pick.
He's got to be a favorite.
I said Kevin Durant for me, but I wouldn't be surprised if Steph Curry won.
It's got to be a favorite.
Man, I mean, I know it's only been 2 games, but it's safe to say you guys were right.
They're coming out the West?
Not coming out the West, but
that's them being right.
I had them. You guys can allude to. I had the Western Conference Finals being the Lakers and the Warriors. That was my pick. When I said
my
the Lakers
ceiling
for
the
the
Warriors was 1, so we can't say like I wasn't trash.
You guys are right.
No,
my West predictions was second seed.
It's just like I had so many negative thoughts about this team answered. I didn't know if Jordan Poole could sustain this going into regular season. Answered. Like something that's really been interesting to me is now I'm not too worried about if Klay Thompson is going to come back being this all-NBA level defender because I think Andrew Wiggins is really good enough to be that defender. But if Klay Thompson comes back being the Klay Thompson on Iggy too, I was watching Iggy the other night. It's crazy. How is he, like 37?
Something like that.
Yeah.
But then he really?
He can still guard.
He's 30. I was watching his Breakfast Club interview with Iggy, and Charlamagne asked him, what do you think about Tom Brady still playing at 44, 45 years old? And he was like, I just think he doesn't want to go home.
I mean, but then you still got Draymond. You know what you're going to get from Draymond. You're going to get an all-around game, facilitating, defending. Him and Steph Curry's chemistry is probably the best chemistry in the league, if we're being honest. Like, it's crazy. Like, this guy throws passes to where the ball's supposed to be, and Steph Curry just goes there. I mean, they've been playing, obviously, together for a really long time, but I mean, just defensively, just the emergence of Jordan Poole now. Now that's somebody else you got to worry about on the offensive side.
He tries on defense too now.
You know what's the good thing about Draymond? He's actually taking shots this year.
He is. He's shooting more.
Taking open shots. More. He's going to the basket. He's taking layups. Like, he's more aggressive this year. I think he's heard the noise last year, and now he's become – when he's more aggressive, whether he's making or missing, they become a more dangerous team.
To just to piggyback off what Joel said, I mean, the Warriors did a good job at signing Warriors players. Bielitsa is a Warriors player, somebody that fits their system. Otto Porter too. I mean, he's been coming and giving some good minutes. He can defend. He can space the floor. I mean, I'm looking at this team and it's like if Steph Curry's playing at this level and they have this much continuity and they keep going on and then they get Klay Thompson back, probably a lot of people agree.
Christmas.
Against the Nets.
Needs this.
Against the second greatest shooter of all time. You add that and if he can come back and be, at least 75% of what he was on the defensive end. I mean, you got You got Andrew Wiggins, you got Draymond Green who could defend, you got Klay Thompson, you got Iguodala off the bench. It's like this team is crazy.
Fontescano Anderson too.
Fontescano Anderson can really defend.
Damian Lee.
I know you don't understand.
Damian Lee's been playing pretty well too.
But you'll understand this feeling soon enough. You'll understand this feeling
What are you
soon
talking
enough.
about?
This feeling like I could just smell a chip just on its way, like just.
I mean, if you know, oh my God,
again.
I forgot to mention they don't even have Wiseman right now, right?
Yeah, you're gonna get this feeling
y'all
soon.
aren't-
You'll understand
Y'all are
soon.
not
They
beating
get hit.
Milwaukee. Y'all
Rib.
not beating us.
We're not beating what?
Milwaukee. You're
Rib.
not beating us. Like, forget about even, like, you're not getting there. But if by some miracle of God you get there, you're not
man.
beating
We're
Milwaukee.
not beating Westbrook and
Yo,
LeBron.
I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be a great series.
Yeah, bro. And you said
Can't say
Milwaukee
this- Nah, I don't think
You gotta
guys
stop.
can.
You've been picking the Clippers for the past 2 years, bro.
because Steph Curry was by himself.
But to be fair, it's not like the Warriors have been anything
Yeah, what the hell?
to ride
And
home about.
you was picking Houston. Don't think we
I was
forgot
right. I
that.
picked the Lakers.
Wait,
Well,
whoa,
Houston was close. Houston was
Don't think we
close.
forgot that.
Nah,
You were
y'all
picking Houston.
Y'all lost in the second round in
You were
5.
picking Houston with
That's
Chris
'cause
Paul.
Russ-
I was
think
picking the
Russ will be that
Lakers
bad,
all year
bro.
the year you guys won.
I was
Don't
gonna
do
say,
that.
my
You was
unit
picking
won.
Houston.